What's up guys, Zami here and you're watching Heavy Metal Pomp. Today I've got another product review for you and we're going to be looking at a brand new product from Malaysia. For today we're going to be looking at the Wild Tigris Clay. Now this is a water-based clay with a medium to firm hold, and of course I want to thank Firdaus for sending me this. Thanks bro. And without further ado, we're going to take a closer look at the jar right now. And here we have the Wild Tigris Clay. Comes in a 2.5 ounce clear glass jar. It has this blue seal around it so you'll know if it's opened or not. You get the brand and product name on this off-white label. And on the back you get ingredients, directions, and even a chart of how the product should perform. Overall, I really like the presentation on this. The jar is really unique and the label design looks really clean and sharp. It kinda looks like if Tiger Balm had a minimalistic look, which I think is really cool. And if you open it up, you get this beige clay inside. The scent's what they call a robust scent, which is a blend of orchid, geranium, and patchouli. And what I get is this smooth, floral, woody scent. It's not a terrible scent, but to be honest, I am not a big fan of it. Thankfully though, it is a pretty subtle scent, so you're not really gonna notice it throughout the day. Now scooping it out, comes out pretty easily, but it is a pretty thick clay. It doesn't require much effort to scoop it out, but it is a pretty soft and thick clay. And breaking it down, once again, really smooth, but the more you break it down, the more it feels more thick and dry. Going to the hair, definitely has quite an amount of tugging or pulling. I would highly recommend you to apply in smaller amounts, which isn't exactly what I'm doing right now, so I am instantly regretting that scoop. Should have gotten a much smaller scoop. Now you can definitely apply this in damp hair, which will alleviate most of that tugging or pulling, but it's gonna take away from that really matte finish that you normally go for with clays. Applying in dry hair also gives it a bit more hold and volume, which is exactly what I'm going for. Now the scent's definitely quite present right now, but it is gonna fade down after a couple of hours. And as for the shine, you can definitely get a matte finish with this. Now slicking it back, definitely has quite a lot of thickness to it, as you would expect from a clay like this. But it is sort of manageable, but I wouldn't really advise it. After a couple of passes, it will go through fairly easily, but I don't really think you would want to use a comb with a clay like this one. I'm gonna style my hair now. Talk to you again in a bit. I think I'm pretty much just gonna call that done. So as you can tell, I'm getting a good amount of height and volume. My sides aren't holding down that well. This clay provides a pretty decent amount of texture, getting a matte finish, and the scent is subtle. So anyways, let's talk more about the Wild Tigris Clay. Now like I mentioned earlier, this is a pretty brand new product from Malaysia. Originally, they went by the name Bulber Pomade, and they had this one product which was half gel pomade and half unorthodox water-based pomade. Now purely based on the presentation, when I first saw that water-based pomade a couple of years back, I just thought it looked really cheap and, to be honest, kinda nasty. Seeing the presentation on the Wild Tigris Clay, definitely a huge improvement on their end. However, as for the performance of the clay, I do have several issues with it. Now scooping it out is actually pretty easy, breaking it down isn't terrible either, but once you apply in the hair, that's why my first issue with it comes. It's just way too thick and dry for me, and it doesn't really work with my hair or my hairstyle that well. Now granted, the volume and texture on this is pretty decent, but it doesn't have the hold to keep it together in place. Even right now I can kinda see that it's deflating, and I'm not even doing anything. I'm just standing here in an air-conditioned room. The hold's more of a light to medium hold. I don't get a medium, let alone a firm hold with this. And because the hold itself is pretty weak, the endurance on this is also pretty lacking. Like I mentioned earlier, I find that my hair deflates really easily with this, and even though I can easily just push it back in place, it's just gonna deflate again. So yeah, hold and endurance on this for my hair type, not the best. Now I also find that this product gets a bit too dry for me, but I can also see that being appealing for some people, cause you can get a matte finish and the texture on this, once again, pretty decent. And as much as I'm not a big fan of this clay, I can definitely see it working for people with short hair or for people going for a loose, relaxed look. I think the benefits of this clay will work for people with short hair especially, but for people like me who use clays as a matte texturizing pomade, it doesn't work that well. And as for washing it out, one shower with shampoo pretty much gets everything out. Rinsing it will also leave behind a light and clean buildup, which doesn't really add much of anything for next day styling. So anyways, final verdict on the Wild Tigris Clay. I give it a 3 out of 5. As much as I'm not a big fan of this clay, I can definitely see it working for people with short hair or for people going for a more natural look. If you're looking for a clay to be used as a matte texturizing pomade, this isn't it. If you're looking for a dry clay that can provide a nice amount of texture and a true matte finish, this is a pretty decent option. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Hope you liked the review. Do leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel right here, or you can check out my last video right here. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.